Normally, if you see a TV character violating child labor laws in order to make profit for themselves, odds are that character is probably the villain of the show. But in the episode iSell Penny Teas, we actually see Carly, Sam, and Freddie, the protagonists of iCarly, exploiting child labor to try and make money as if it's just a legitimate business strategy. Again, these are the heroes of the show, and Sam operates a literal sweatshop filled with child workers in this episode, which is some crazy lore when you consider that she goes on to run a babysitting company years later in the spin-off show Sam and Cat. Did no one check her credentials for having that kind of business? Because the way Sam treats little children in this episode probably should have her banned from doing anything like that in the future. iSell Penny Teas aired in the 4th season of iCarly all the way back in October 2010, back when Like a G6 was the #1 song in the country, which means this episode is older than the underage child workers featured in all of the sweatshop scenes by several years. So I decided it was time for a rewatch to see if the iCarly crew violates all the labor laws I think I remember them violating in this episode. If you like this video, be sure to throw us a like and maybe even subscribe. I just might give the 4th graders who edit all my videos a raise if you do. Kidding, that was a joke. I don't exploit child labor. I edit all my own videos. And if you have any other episodes or shows you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments. All right, let's dive in. So the episode starts off with Sam blowing her nose into some spaghetti because the iCarly gang loves ruining perfectly good food on their web show. They give the snot spaghetti to Guppy. Unacceptable. And then Sam and Carly announce that they're going to be auctioning off some of the props seen on iCarly, with all of the proceeds going to the Sam Puckett Legal Defense Fund.
Together, we can keep Sam out of juvie.
Then, the girls cheerfully say, time to show you our junk, and I'm side-eyeing Dirty Dan for the way that one was worded. Come on now. We get some references to past episodes with objects like the fan of hammers that almost killed Carly back in season 1, causing her grandpa to think Spencer was a bad guardian and almost force her to move with him to Yakima. And who could forget the iconic tech foot, also from season 1. The scene ends with Gibby eating the snot spaghetti and commenting that it's really good and asking what's the sauce. And that's vile, it's disgusting, it's nasty. Goodbye. Downstairs, the kids are packing up a bunch of the shit that they already sold to their fans when Freddie almost gives in to his demons for a second.
This is amazing.
Someone finally friended you?
Control, Freddie. Bad thoughts lead to bad actions.
And fun fact, the part with Freddie holding the knife and considering homicide was actually cut in the UK version of this episode.
Wow. This is amazing.
Someone finally friended you? What's amazing?
Guess what iCarly item sold for the most money by far?
The Brits couldn't handle that nonsense. Once Freddie puts his violent thoughts to rest, he tells the others that the item that sold for the most money was actually the dumbass penny tea. Sam says they should all drop out of school and make penny teas full time and become millionaires, and Freddie agrees. Meanwhile, Spencer assaults Carly for no reason while on his way to the front door. Possibly the first time we ever see a realistic sibling dynamic between them, honestly. Spencer explains his delivery is a weird foreign movie he got for a hot foreign girl from Uzbekistan that he's been dating.
Her name is Crustacea, and she doesn't speak any English.
So how do you talk to her?
Oh, by doing stuff like this. Eating, walking, canoeing.
And Spencer is a bit of a creep in this B-plot. Also, if any of you recognize Spencer's girlfriend, you're sick, because she was actually a Playboy playmate in the late 2000s. Crazy. The iCarly kids try to tell him about their new penny tea business idea, but he just doesn't give a shit and runs off. And honestly, what exactly is a penny tea? It's not like Carly, Sam, and Freddie are the first people to ever make t-shirts with some funny text on the front. That's always been a thing anything. iCarly didn't invent that. Look at this. And this one. How about this one? Ridiculous. And for that matter, why are they even called penny tees? Well, I did some investigating for you guys, and it's actually because each shirt has a penny hemmed into the sleeve, which you can actually see during multiple episodes of iCarly. And I would do crazy things to own one of those penny tees. Cut to Spencer hanging out with the hot foreign Playboy model. And fun fact, Spencer claims she only speaks Uzbekistan, but she's actually speaking Russian in these scenes. And I went ahead and translated everything she says just for fun.
May I freshen your soda?
Спасибо, я больше не хочу. А как тебе кино нравится? Мне вроде нравится, но какой-то сюжет запутанный, да?
Well, sure you can.
And what's interesting here about the translated scene is that she seems to understand what Spencer is saying in English, but she can still only respond to him in Russian.
Ты такой хороший. И у тебя такие мягкие губы.
Yes, we can kiss again.
This could have easily been considered assault, and Spencer got pretty lucky here that she happened to be into it. And you know what? Good for him. Cut to Carly's enormous pimped out bedroom where she and Freddie have completed 74 penny tees. They bitch that Sam hasn't been contributing at all when suddenly she comes through the door with a bunch of boxes. And I can't help but notice the sign on the wall right next to her says, "Reminds Spencer to bathe." Yikes. Freddie asks her if she ripped off a fat cake truck, and she decides to teach him a lesson.
Oh, what's happening? Sam, come on! Don't! Sam, stop it! Get off of me!
And it will probably surprise no one that Dirty Dan thought Sam spanking Freddie's cheeks was such a highlight that he actually used this moment in the promo for the episode. He thought this would be the thing to pull viewers in. Like everyone was just dying to see Freddie's ass get pounded. And in the promo, it shows the spanking from a completely different angle than the regular episode. So it upsets me to think about how many times Sam and Freddie had to act this scene out. Freddie even has a line in the promo that was cut from the episode.
My bottom stings.
Uh-huh. Okay. Also, for anyone who thinks I'm being a little too harsh, Nickelodeon genuinely seems to have some sort of spanking fetish. On Paramount Plus, they constantly rerun an ad of Henry Danger spanky, spanky, spank your butt, and I see it every time I try to watch an episode of anything. So apparently, Nickelodeon has a long history of using spanking scenes in their promos. Ridiculous. Get Dan Schneider, lock him up. Hell, even Spencer gets spanked earlier in the series by the private investigator cop person from iStakeout. Sam announces she has 30 finished penny tees in each box, and they ask her how she made so many. And she takes them down to the basement where she has little kids working in a goddamn sweatshop. Sam explains they're 4th graders from a local school and she's only paying each one of them $5 a day. Carly and Freddie pretend to be horrified, but it's honestly very half-assed.
This feels wrong.
I don't like this.
Anyone who's actually a good person would demand that this stops immediately and send all these children home right away. But Carly and Freddie are fake as hell. They don't actually care. And when Sam says they made 19 penny tees an hour, their ears perk up and that child labor starts to sound pretty good to them.
I checked the iCarly inbox and we have over 600 orders for penny tees to make and deliver. Well, okay. But if these kids are gonna work for us, we're gonna treat them nicely and with respect.
What? So Carly, who's meant to be the good girl on the show, is really perfectly fine with exploiting child labor, in actual crime, mind you, as long as they're nice to the underage worker victims while they exploit them. Okay, alright. Real talk. I actually prefer people like Sam in real life, who at least are straight up about being jerks, over people like Carly or Freddie who try to act all fake nice and innocent while being really just as bad as the Sams of the world. Also, I think it's kind of funny how the whole plot of this episode got started with the goal to earn money for the Sam Puckett Legal Defense Fund, just for any future legal troubles she might get in. But in order to raise that money, she's committing an actual crime by endangering children and exploiting child labor, making it even more likely that she'll need that legal defense fund. So Freddie and Carly say they'll take half the children upstairs to treat them nicely family as child laborers, while Sam keeps the other half downstairs in the basement sweatshop. Again, what? So they're okay with only rescuing, air quotes on that one, rescuing 50% of the 4th graders? They're fine with leaving a bunch of them in the hands of Sam, who's giving them food from the dumpster?
A through M, you guys go with Carly and Freddie. Oh, so you're happy about that? Okay. N through Z, kids, you go. A through M, you stay.
This proves they really don't actually give a shit about the safety or well-being of children. Come on now. Cut to Spencer at the groovy smoothie with the hot foreign Playboy model. And the thing that happened next in this scene, I'm still scratching my head about. I don't want to say, what exactly did Gibby do to him in there?
Because of the implication.
Okay.
So after doing unspeakable things in the restroom, I guess, Gibby walks over to say hi to Spencer.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Gibby.
She doesn't speak English.
I'm still Gibby.
And when Spencer explains she's from Uzbekistan, Gibby says his bus driver is from there too, and speaks perfect Uzbek, and offers to hook Spencer up. The scene ends with the old man from the bathroom returning with law enforcement, and pointing to Gibby saying, "That's him! What did Gibby do to him in there?" Cut to upstairs in the iCarly studio, where Carly and Freddie are providing the children with a fun child labor experience. They give out ice cream, then nicely ask the 10-year-olds to work on the penny teas for the next 2 hours. Carly, even if you give them little snacks, the legal working age for minors in Seattle is still 14. And even if these kids were old enough, which they're not, they mention that they're being paid double what Sam paid them. But Sam only paid them $5 a day each. So Carly and Freddie are only paying them $10 a day, while asking them to work for the next 2 hours. Back in 2010, when this episode came out, the minimum wage in Seattle, Washington was $8.55 per hour, and yet Carly and Freddie are paying well below that. So not only are they breaking the law by using children that are like half a decade too young to legally work, but they are also breaking the law by paying them below minimum wage, and all while acting like they're the good guys. Unacceptable. Cut back to Sam, who gives the kids chunk meat for lunch.
What's chunk meat?
Chunk meat. Which word don't you understand?
This is for animals.
No, it's not.
See here, it says strengthens hooves.
Also, Captain Sausage. Really? The kids demand more money and better working conditions, and Sam tells them tough tits. That ain't happening. So they all collectively quit, leaving Sam alone to work on her penny teas by herself. And before she gets started, she decides to fuel up a little bit with some of the chunk meat.
May contain meat. Well, if it may.
And you know what? I can at least respect that Sam wasn't giving the kids anything to eat that she wouldn't eat herself. Back upstairs, in Carly and Freddie's nicer sweatshop, the kids are all playing around instead of working. And I know blue tea doesn't taste like Kool-Aid, but this blue tea looks like the most delicious Kool-Aid ever. They find out the kids only made 6 penny teas in the entire day, and they are appalled.
Maybe you should all get off your chizzes and do some work.
Or you're not getting paid.
The kids say, "You already paid us ahead of time for the entire month, dumbasses." And Carly and Freddie basically fire all the kids, who were already bouncing anyway and clearly don't give 2 shits. And honestly, that's what they get for thinking they could expect quality work out of a bunch of 4th graders. Are they dumb? Gibby shows up with the bus driver Fugtor, who starts chatting it up with Spencer's girl in Russian. Spencer tries to get him to translate some stuff to her, but he stares blankly, until Gibby explains that he doesn't speak any English.
Fugtor doesn't speak English.
You said he could translate for me.
No, I said he speaks Uzbek, which he does. So cool the attitude, all right?
How did you even invite him here?
His brother speaks Uzbek and English.
So Fugtor and Crustacea decide to ditch Spencer and go get some sushi together, and that's that. Cut to the groovy smoothie where Carly, Sam, and Freddie are meeting up with some of the little kids from the sweatshop, and they all start apologizing to them. Okay, so I was a little harsh on the iCarly gang in this one for using child labor the whole episode, but at least they learned their lesson and they're apologizing for—
Look, the point is, we've got a lot of penny teas to make, so we'd like to start fresh and work with all of you guys again.
Really? So I take it back. They learned absolutely nothing. With a minute and a half left in the episode, they still think child labor is the best way to fulfill their dumbass t-shirt orders. Luckily, the kids tell them to go fuck themselves and say they started their own penny tea business. And the iCarly gang suddenly notices that literally every single extra in the background of the scene is wearing a penny tee.
You little punks! You can't take our penny tea idea. What are you gonna do? Sue us?
We're 10.
So, I guess in a way, that's some karma for the iCarly gang at the end of the episode. But if you ask me, they're actually getting off pretty easily. Sure, they don't get profit from any of the t-shirts, but they're no worse off than when they first started. All it would have taken was one leaked YouTube video from one kid down in that sweatshop exposing the child exploitation to the public, and Carly, Sam, and Freddie would have been frickin' canceled. Honestly, can you imagine an iCarly apology video? That actually would have been funny as hell. Honestly, someone's mom or dad could have been a cop and came and arrested Sam for her whole illegal sweatshop operation. In fact, that probably should have happened. But I will say, I think it's interesting that iCarly, as a show, was willing to let its main characters sometimes be jerks. I think it's kind of funny and honestly adds to the show. For all my poking fun of this episode because of how illegal it is, I do actually think this one is a pretty funny and entertaining episode, and is definitely worth a rewatch if you're looking for a good time. But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think of iSell penny teas? Did you like watching the small children get mistreated? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. As always, I gotta give a massive shout out to the channel and Patreon members. Honestly, I just hope you're all doing well. If you're still here, fantastic. Maybe check out another video and consider subscribing. Also, take some time and look at the clouds. You might find a shape you weren't expecting. All right, thanks for listening.